assess that performance? You must have been quite pleased, with the ambition and the fact that you scored 7 tries.
Yeah, we spoke in the week about you have to start the game positively, really, and we certainly struck the right chords early on. And by and large, our physical readings in terms of ball in play, the amount of metres we've covered and the tempo of the game has given us some good indicators what we've trained for and perhaps what we haven't done against Zebre in the past. Having said that, there was a lot of wastefulness there, which frustrates the hell out of me, really, in terms of just some basic decision making where we certainly weren't as clinical as we could have been. And we spoke about that post-Leinster, actually. We didn't put Leinster away when we missed 2 gilt-edged opportunities to score. Tonight we showed some similar traits, and obviously we had a ton of them tonight, so you can make up for the shortfall. But against bigger, better championship sides, we might rue that wastefulness.
Looking at the playoff sort of race, how do you assess it now?
Yes, it's livening up. The games are running out and every point becomes valuable. We're pretty satisfied, really. It's certainly a situation we'd have taken last summer in terms of 4 games to go. I think a few points off the top and then a few points just ahead of 5th place. But again, just knowing that we're in charge of our destiny pleases us, and know that we've got a degree of momentum from the Munster game, boys coming back in with everyone involved, everyone wanting to be involved in the Osprey shirt, and knowing that if we can play well in our remaining fixtures, we give ourselves a good chance of winning them.
Are you pleased with some of the performances of the guys who've been here all the time, that they've carried on from that stage in terms of picking up victories?
Yeah, I think you saw progression in that block around Glasgow, Leinster, Munster in particular, with people like Sam Davis and Dan Baker, and they're certainly on the ball where we want them to be. There's lots of movement around them, and it creates 1v1s for good players to make line breaks. Again, I'm annoyed at the fact we didn't finish a lot of them, but no, yeah, we're pleased with the group who are incumbent. There's only one change tonight, which told its own story, really. But clearly then we've got other boys who are pushing as well, who we've got to manage carefully in terms of their workload, and we'll certainly do that over the next couple of weeks. But it gives us a bit of depth, which you need probably going into the sort of back end of the year.
What did Sam and Dan give you tonight? What did Sam and Dan give you tonight, in terms of the qualities that they had today? Dan had 2 tries and Sam 16 points.
Yeah, I think exactly that. In terms of Dan Baker, is a line-breaking threat. I've spoken in the week how he gave us some big numbers, go forward. If you're not making line breaks, you're still on the front foot and creating speed of ball, which obviously causes any opposition and problems. Let alone a Zebre defence, which was on the back foot for the large part. So you can play off him, and I think having figures like that, plus people like Tyler, Tiprick, there's a lot of people, Scott Baldwin showing some great footwork today. There's a lot of ball-carrying threats in that pack which get us on the front foot. And then you can suddenly see Sam squaring up, he's got options inside and out, and he becomes the running threat as well, which has been fantastic to see over the course of over the last 6 months, whilst not neglecting the fact he still kicks the ball to space, and obviously he's got a full balance to his game.
Griff, do you think you'll need to win every game to secure a spot in the playoffs?
That's our aim regardless. I think if we play well in all those games, we'll be down close to winning them. So as I said, in terms of points totals and destiny, everything is in our hands. So that's the way we'll measure our training standards and measure what we want to perform on the weekend with.
With Sam, he's become a sort of serial man of the match winner. How difficult is it going to be to accommodate both him and Dan?
Yes, it's a good conundrum for us, but one you certainly welcome. I think there's still aspects of all our players' games that we continue striving to improve for. Sam is no different to those. That there's things we've got to push on with. But yeah, it may be a nice headache to have, and it may not be one or the other. It might be both. We've seen that on the pitch before for us.
Yeah, and another try for Rees Webb. That's his. I think we said it was his 10th of the season, which is phenomenal for a scrum half. Yeah,
it is. His strike rate, it's fantastic. And again, I talked about forward ball carriers, and obviously the backs, are loitering, looking for things as well. But the biggest commodity in, I suppose in any sport is point scorers. You guys who get your goals, and he certainly does that. I think he was searching for that today, as a few of them were. And he does acknowledge he's becoming a marked man in certain areas, so he has to adapt. But it's a nice luxury for us to have as coaches.
Did you pick up any injuries, Griff?
No, I think Josh picked up a dead leg. It's just at that point we were going to make a sub anyway. So it was good to get Ben Johnson game time because he's pushing hard in training. But by and large, no, nothing has come immediately.
Overall, you still think there's scope for you to improve in terms of performance, though?
Oh, without question. Yeah, I think we're really ruining the fact we're missing opportunities, and as I said, it's one thing creating them, but we've seen us create a lot in the past, and it doesn't mean much if you're not actually being really 100% in everything you're doing. So we won't back down, whether it's an individual moment or whether it's a mini unit 4v3 decision making and the wrong call. There's things we'll break down and look at why it's not there, and obviously clearly try and correct it.